Hello and welcome to a video. So for those of you who are new, I'm Roman. And yeah, anyways, so this is theory video number 2 on Monkey Wrench. If it's your first time here, I recommend watching the previous video because that has more of like the overarching theories of Monkey Wrench as well as what Monkey Wrench is. It's a fan fiction by B, my girl, on Twitter and AO3. Love B. So I recommend watching that video if you haven't. But other than that, let's get right into the theories for the most recent chapter, chapter 24. So a couple notes in the last video. We realized everybody in Discord's very slow and stupid. We do know what the cipher around Bill's chest says. It's actually just a Caesar cipher, just the regular 3 letters. See the back 3 Caesar cipher. Yeah, we're all very slow. It literally just translates to if lost, return to Ford. So I was right about it being something about Ford. Yeah, we're a little slow. And then another one from the video. So I did find that post that I couldn't find. I'll put here about the fiddle stand interaction and like the closest thing to their interaction. And then so for the carpet diem part, we said that like maybe that's like the possession thing, but it's been confirmed that it's not the possession thing because B says here that that's gonna be the 3K special. And also I'm starting to think that the possession was the zombies, because there was a lot more zombies in the show. Yeah. So that's all that we have as of the last. Oh my god, I didn't take my meds today. As of the last video. So now let's actually get into some actual more theory stuff. Yeah, for this chapter. So a lot of the stuff from this theory for this video is from this Twitter space we did as well as the newest chapter. There is some things from the Instagram, just not a lot. Instagram, Twitter, but not a lot. Okay, we're gonna start this video kind of like with kind of where the chapter ended. So obviously they cured the zombies. In the way they did that though, B has said they got the like ingredients and all that, and then they put them kind of into a bunch of syringes, and Carla went around shooting people with a syringe gun. It won't be like completely brought up in the story, I don't think, but B said it might be referenced. And we've also learned that Bill actually does care for some people in town. That is something that we learned. And also with the zombification thing, obviously they put it down to like a mass hallucination, like they do. But then there was this mention of people in black suits going around. It's just a rumor. And you know how those happen in small towns. Who are these people in the black suits? FBI, CIA? Who is it? That's one of the big questions. Hopefully we learn that. Hopefully we will learn that in a future chapter. Guaranteed. And then we also know at the kind of near the beginning of the chapter, there was a very large George and Bill parallel, as in George caused these zombies on the whole town, almost killed his entire world, like how Bill did, where he accidentally set fire to his entire dimension. So Bill was trying to defend George, and I think this parallel was not entirely intentional, at least not everything with it, but some of it definitely was. And in the way B was like responding to us asking about the parallel, specifically cheese. I didn't even think about the parallel. That was all cheese. And then we do know at some point there's going to be a Tarantino-esque fight scene at Gracie's is my guess because it includes a ciphertologist. Ooh, maybe it's not at Gracie's. We don't know that. But we know it includes a ciphertologist because when Louie was making their ciphertologist OC, B asked how would they feel about Tarantino-esque fight scenes. My thought is maybe it comes into play with how Stan, with Stan's arrival, with like the whole fiddle stand, fighting, knife, everything. So I'm wondering if it's something with that. And then we've also learned that Axe can do whatever he wants. He can do anything. Because he's God, essentially. Also, he placed the shaman into the story in order to just kind of screw with Bill. It's great. I love the shaman so much. But we also know that the time police do not come into play. B has mentioned that, so Axe will not bring in the time police, which is interesting because they could easily come in sometime here. And we also know that Ford's Mindscape will be there at some point in the future. No idea when, no idea where. I want to know. How far in the future does his Mindscape come? Why does his Mindscape show up? Is it Jezelbrom who shows up in his Mindscape? Pyronica, maybe? We'll find out. I feel like it's going to be one of those two. Okay, this next section will focus on more like Fidds and Stan. Not together, just kind of them separately. But we know that there's going to be a cameo by one of Stan's enemies, ? I think B was saying not really enemies, but I was kind of cutting them off because I was going insane. So I'm wondering if it might be like Bug Dealer guy. I don't know, or maybe Philbrick. If it's Philbrick, I'm stabbing him with a knife. I didn't think about that. What if that's how the knife comes into play? It's not gonna. I don't think that's it. And in terms of the next chapter, chapter 25, or the Fidbill one-shot, we have been given a hint that the song for the chapter is a very 50s song. It's not a spicy song at all. And it has banjo and female singers. So our current theory, thanks to CJ on Twitter, is that it could be Salty Dog Blues. Yeah, very curious on that. And we also know that we're having Fiddleford's perspective, guaranteed sometime in the future. I know for sure in the Fidbill one-shot, not sure about if any like actual like canon chapters will be in there. But there's also going to be one other point of view at some point in the story. No idea whose point of view. I'm guessing either Ford or Stan's. And there might be a third POV, so it could be maybe Ford and Stan or somebody else entirely. Maybe Pyronica. Maybe we figure out how she got into Janie B's brain. Maybe it's Janie B. Maybe we figure out how Pyronica got into her brain. What their conversation was. Maybe that's some of it. Ooh, I think that'd be pretty cool, actually. And then B has stated again in this Twitter space that Fiddlestan is mostly minimal drama. And then at some point in the most recent chapter, when Carla and George are leaving, obviously, because we gotta keep kids safe, Fidds says this. At the end, he says, call the, and he gets cut off. Who was he telling them to call? That's what I want to know. FBI, CIA, who was it? Some other organization? We don't know. I wrote phone number or title because I kept saying phone number and I kept cutting B off, and B was saying like title or something. I don't remember. But yeah, we gonna lose my mind. Okay, and for the outline spoilers, as B put it, there are single words that we know of for future chapters. Each one of these words is for a different chapter. I don't know if they went in order of the chapters or what, but we've got Jezelbrom. So I'm wondering if she comes up in a couple chapters. Maybe that's how Ford's Mindscape comes into play. She shows up in his Mindscape. I don't know. All we know is she's connected to Pyronica because Pyronica, Jezelbrom, and Janie B are together at the end. Guaranteed. That has been confirmed. I don't remember if I talked about that in the last video or not. Another word we had was ballad. So I'm wondering if maybe it's a hint for for the name of a future chapter, or maybe there's another dance that happens or something. I'm not sure. Yeah, but we got ballad. We also have the word gun, which could easily be, I think it's referencing the memory gun, simply because of this line in the story, where Bill's just like, oh, I'm so glad he hasn't made a different kind of gun. Obviously, he's gonna make that gun. Anyway, So we're thinking it's a memory gun. Another word was dipper. We have no idea when dipper comes into play. Sorry, I knocked it. I thought somebody was on my door. So thoughts are, thanks to Cheese, we were discussing, it could be part of like the time travelers, like in that part in the time traveler's pig, when Dipper runs by the house and Ford like opens the door and looks out. So maybe he sees Dipper at that point. Could be part of it. Or it could just be a gag that B's messing with us, and they could just be referencing the constellation. Or it could be something entirely. But if it is actually about the character, it has to be something about time travel. Obviously, the tornado sirens are going off because it's Wednesday. And then our final thing was GangStocked. No idea what that means. Yeah. Okay, and these next words are like about the next chapter itself. We were given domestic fluff. So I'm wondering if it's like Bill and Ford celebrating and being cutesy. I really like this post by B. Be Bill. Be a master manipulator. All those things. Lie until you aren't lying anymore. You aren't lying anymore. He's in love. They're in love. Then another thing we got was weapons. And the only thing I could think of was like some kind of gun, like the memory gun. But then Cheese, the crossbow. Why? It could easily be the crossbow, but why would the crossbow come into play? Because we know Stan's not coming up here. I think that B said in like around like chapter 28 is when Stan's coming in. So that's a few chapters down. But why is there weapons? Not one. Multiple weapons, meaning they're gathering weapons for something maybe? Not quite sure. Another word was trust. So maybe it's, so who's trusting? I'm wondering if it's like Bill and Fidds start to like trust each other or something like that, or because Bill and Ford already trust each other, so it's probably not them. But it could also be mistrust. So maybe Fidds and Bill mistrust, because obviously Fidds is, Cheese was mentioning here in our Twitter DMs that this is probably, the zombie thing is probably going to push Fidds over the edge. Like, maybe he actually is going to go insane. And then another thing we've got, more words, was the study. So I'm wondering if maybe Fidds is hiding in the study, doing more research up on Bill, writing stuff out, taking notes on more Bill research like he was doing in the library, is what we think is doing. We think he was doing in the library anyway. No idea, but that's the thought on that one. And then another one was hair. Who's getting a haircut? Is Bill getting a haircut? If Bill gets a haircut, I'm losing my mind. I'm gonna go insane. Anyway, hair. And then B also said there's lots of parentheticals, meaning like there's a lot of like parentheses and things, meaning lots of thoughts is my thought. Okay. Lots of brain function, like when Bill's like, oh, I stopped him from making that, or things like that. So I'm wondering if it's something like that. Lots of those, which what does that mean? And then the final word that B said on the Twitter space was gun. They said gun and they left. The only kind of gun we could think of is either the crossbow or the memory gun. Or like a shotgun, but why is there a shotgun? So we're thinking in the next chapter the memory gun might start to come into play, which is very unfortunate. We don't know why it comes into play. Zombies threw him over the edge. I don't know. But something with a gun. Crossbow maybe. Maybe he buys the crossbow. I don't know. But it's terrifying. And now for just some little silly notes. So I asked B what Van Halen song that Bill really wanted to play. Right here. I'm the One by Van Halen. It's a good song. Also, I told Love I would bring up Valentine's Jerry. This is Valentine's Jerry, guys. We love Jerry. And then I would also told Uni I'd talk about Uni's almond joy. Uni had an almond joy, guys. I don't know. But anyway, that was this week's series. I hope you enjoyed. I'm excited to do this again next week. I hope this comes out before the new chapter. I have no idea. I have college and homework. But I'm going to try and get this up tonight, hopefully. Wednesday. We have no idea when the new chapter is coming out. Especially with like all the election and everything. There's been a lot going on. But hopefully soon, and hopefully I can get this video up before then. See you in the next video, everybody.